Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. Friday evening, weekly close for commodities, gold, silver, oil, platinum, and what have we. So yeah, let's see where we are in time. Gold and silver looking insanely good. And yeah, as always, follow me, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. And yeah, without any further ado, we are going into the charting here very quickly here. No waiting, because we're looking at silver now on the weekly time frames. So long-term stuff, and look what is happening, guys. Beautiful. This is actually more or less textbook stuff, right? Breaking out of the neckline down to support, retest, and now going higher. To me, this looks like, and I want to go a bit further back in time, really. This is the 2020 high. Then we have the silver squeeze madness going on here, and now we have a trend line coming all the way across into over here. Zooming in, this is exactly where we're going in my point of view. So we're going to hit this blue trend line at around a bit north of $25. And to me, we will see rejection, but that should be the big move coming up here for silver. Again, very excited. Again, we haven't confirmed it, obviously. But still, it points to that breakout here on the weekly. Look at the weekly chart here. Excuse me, the daily chart here. That is a beauty, and that should make us go to 25 and beyond. Yes, and beyond, because by breaking that blue trend line here, put us into the territory of going into at least something around 50. You can see here it almost matches the high over here. So in my view, we're going to hit, when we get above 25, 26, we will be going into the 40s territories. And I think it will be very quickly, in my honest opinion. Because these big breakouts, as you can see here as well, they are very violent to the upside. And I think we could be in for some fun here in December, maybe the start of 2024. Gold as well. I want to show you gold also looking mighty fine here. You can see right here, we did that big breakout where we had a massive move up here, major higher high, and then we have a major higher low, excuse me, here at this green support. We did a bit below. However, we are now coming back up again here. For now, we're into some double top possibility right here, short term. But I think when we take out $2010, which is the pivot high from over here, we are going to visit again December, January. We are going to visit, in my view, the all-time highs at $75, which will be the fourth and final touch here, and then we will blast higher. So when we get above 2075, we are targeting $3,000 within the next year, give or take. Beautiful stuff here. It has been a long wait, but I think we are definitely getting closer here. And to confirm this bias, I'm always looking at the gold to silver ratio. Where are we in the gold to silver ratio? Again, we just couldn't break through 88 here, wicks, and then we came crashing down into green support, bouncing, and now we're rolling over again. So as you know, we have been looking at this long-term orange trend line here, which is very important part of the gold to silver ratio. So when and if we start to break down here, that's exactly where you're going to see silver towards 45.50, and gold will start its move as well. So as you can see here again, we are very close to some very important key levels in the ratio getting taken out. Beautiful. Alrighty, here we have the Dixie, the good old Dixie. Again, we are just coming down. Not that one, excuse me. We're still making lower highs and lower lows. In my view, I think we're going down to at least that green trend line here somewhere in January 2024. And then we will see what happens. But definitely, it looks like we have made a big cycle high here, and then we will see how low we go. The 10-year. First, I'm going to show you the short-term stuff right here. Again, we are roughly bouncing at, I had my levels at roughly 4.33, but as you can see, we're getting a bit of bounce here at that high at 4.36, so very close, getting a bounce. And I think we could be going all the way up to that retest, and then it should be a rollover from there. You can also see the long term here. This goes back to roughly 2020, a long-term trend line here that has been broken here. So this should be the start of a bigger move to the downside. And if that level at 4.33, give or take, gives in, then you have a lot lower rates coming in. And we have some big support at around 3.3, but that is a long way down here. You can see it's all the way down here. So we have a lot of way to go down in the 10-year rates. Okay, oil. Let's look at good old oil here again. We had that breakdown from the green into the retest, and now we're just trying to roll over once again. So let's see what happens here. If we can start to go sideways, that would be ideal. But again, right now it's more bearish than bullish in my view. And in order to get back into bullish mode, I think we need to somehow get back above the wedges here and the green support. So getting above, let's call it 80, give or take, then I think oil looks really good. But for now, we are into some big support, but the trend is still down. There's no denying that. Again, hopefully we have made a higher high here, and this is a very deep higher low. So yeah, oil definitely fighting it out here. We will go to the weekly on Palladium. Not to get into a lot of history, because we have been talking about this for a long time. Two scenarios: a huge capitulation move here and then jump higher, or just a breakout here. We had the first option, capitulation, and now we're back into the wedge, and now we want to see something like this, getting back above the first pullback. And then Palladium should be going to roughly 1500, which will be the backside of that long-term, very, very long-term golden trend line. So this, if this happens, we are going to see roughly 50% increase for that major retest or backtest of the lower side of that trend line. So again, let's see if that is the path that we are going. Platinum here, I think, again, it still has a lot of work to do, but if we can take out all this huge resistance here, the 30 weekly, this red resistance here, and that band there, and the neckline, so getting above all these, and then we should be way higher for platinum. Still, it has a lot of hard work to do. So when we get above here, then all the hard work will be done, and we'll be going to 1,400, 500, 600 for the first move here. But again, we have a lot of work to do. But again, this move here, in my view, is still a long-term bull flag in the making. So yeah, hopefully the right shoulder is getting carved here, and yeah, we should be going higher. Good old copper here. I haven't looked at it actually ever since we looked at it last time. So let's see where we are in time. Beautiful technicals. This is the daily. I want to show you how important this moment in time are. Breakdown here, and then a rounding bottom straight into the apex. We have resistance from the upper double band there, and we have the lower here. So you can see here actually that we are at a major decision point for copper. And if I were to add in the levels to look for, here you have it roughly 3.8, give or take, and the lower, I think, depending on how low you want to go, but I think if we are getting below, let's call it here, maybe even up here at 3.7, but definitely below 3.6, then it's bearish in my view. You could argue that it could be here, but still, decision time coming up for copper at the apex of a multi-year long squeeze right here. So yeah, let's see where we go. I think the remaining next week, maybe two weeks or so, 1 week, 2 weeks, then we should have the direction. Especially if you go to the upside, then it shouldn't take long. The downside has more room to potentially go lower there. So copper, very intrigued on where we are, and if this is a false breakdown at the apex, then this will be a slingshot like no other. Again, silver and gold is pointing to higher inflation or to higher numbers. I think copper will follow if that is the case. But yeah, let's see. Let's have a look. Let's see. Nothing much new under the radar for nat gas. Again, we are at this big gap right here, and we have that trend line here, which is right now the most important trend line to look at. I think if this gives in, we will close the gap and we will at least go to 2.5. If that gives in as well, then we are going down to the lower long-term golden trend line here, and you can actually pick up, I think, at roughly $2, I think you can pick up a very decent entry for nat gas. You can see here this. I want to show you if I can align it correctly here. So we have a major move down into some sideways action here. So we still have that bear flagging type thing going on for nat gas. And the exact same thing for the Dutch TTF natural gas. Same thing again here. We are at a big level here at roughly 44. And we talked about 44 on the way up, that 44 was the big one to get through. And we did, and we popped big time. And now we're basically a lot of sideways action into that 44. So let's see where we're going. Again, we have the identical uptrend here that needs to hold. So if we get below roughly 44, we have a gap fill and we have a lot lower nat gas prices in my view. Good old coal here, nothing new. We're still having a technical bounce at the 2018 high. And we're getting a bit of a bounce here, a tiny one. Let's see where it takes us. But I still think there is at least 1 quarter of bottoming before we can turn bullish, getting above that blue trend on here. I wouldn't call it a buy, but at least then we have some constructive bullishness to work from if we take out that blue trend line. Bitcoin, same thing. As you can see, we are still maybe there's a lot of lines going on here, excuse me. We have this inverted head and shoulders, still has a target at roughly 42K. That is still very much in the process of getting hit here. Again, we are still grinding it here, or fighting the apex of that huge rising wedge. So let's see which way we go. Same thing as copper, more or less. At the apex, huge resistance from both trend lines. And yeah, short term, we have some lines to go by. We have this lower one here, and then we have one going across here. So as you can see today, actually, just notice, I can see the notice here, we have a bit of a tail here. So if we start to get below and do like this, insanely bearish for Bitcoin in the short term. However, can we somehow get back above? Then it's quite all right. But the 38K is a big one to get through for Bitcoin. And I think if we get through 38, then we're going to that 42K dollars really for Bitcoin. Nothing much to add for our beloved uranium spot price. Again, just keep going higher. Very, very strong here. As mentioned previously, we only had $4 drop, so roughly 5% or so when we hit the Fukushima high, and then we just boom right after, and we're still above the Fukushima high. Strong move, and I think we're going into this gap fill here, not in a straight line, but we're getting into the hundreds here in my view. One way or the other, and then we will obviously go higher long term. Insanely bullish. The trend is very, very strong for the uranium spot price, and yes, the miners will follow. Trust me. Well, nothing is 100%, as I keep saying, but they should follow, because why? I mean, it does make sense if they don't, right? Yeah, still sugar here. We're still above our beautiful green support here. No worries, bull flagging nicely. And again, as long as we are above that green trend line, obviously we will hit the bull flag target at roughly 33 for sugar. And this is also at the 2012 high. Makes sense to have that move here before we go for a bigger correction maybe, or some sideways bullish action here. Because I think sugar long term will go way higher as well, together with silver. So, okay, soybeans here. You can see the weekly. We had a fake out here, and we are back below. This to me says that, and as you know, if we have a fake out to the upside, right here, then we are very often going to visit the lower trend line of the formation that we're looking at. And my view is now that we're going down to roughly 1250, and then we will see what happens. But this is not the greatest of looking for soybeans. You can see the wicks, the selling off here on the weekly, and now we're back below again. Not ideal, and I think we're going down to here, and then we will see what happens. That is the next target for me, at least. So the next target is 1250, more or less. First time looking at this ratio since the last video, I gotta be completely honest. And this is very nice. This is just extremely nice price action. I love it. Very excited. We have finally taken out this expanding bullish formation here, you know, breakout, a lot of sideways chop here, and then we are now back above here. To me, pointing to that we're going into the neckline here at this bigger inverted head and shoulders, and then we're going higher. Again, we are now above that long-term golden trend line here in a bull flag that we have just broken out from. This is very good. This very promising, guys. I'm actually, yeah, this is good. This is really, really, really good. I love it. I really, really do. Same thing for the gold. Hasn't done as good as silver did today. But again, it did break out earlier from this blue formation here, and we're retesting, and we should be going higher again. We are above the long-term golden trend line here. And as long as we are with this pole flag, I mean, again, I think gold and silver, you know, late December, maybe, you know, the early 2024, really right now as we speak is pointing to that is where we're going to see some big moves for gold and silver. Again, until proven otherwise, this is stunningly fantastic. Nice. Yeah, that was all that we had for this video. Gold and silver, the gold to silver ratio looks on the verge of a huge breakdown here, getting below 82. I think seals the deal, maybe a bit below, but still, man, gold and silver looks absolutely fantastic here. Hopefully this is not a big tease, but I think still this is it's nice. It really is. I will stop my rambling here so you can get on with your daily business. Have a great one, guys, and have a great weekend, and a great Thanksgiving to all the guys in the US. I hope you enjoy your holiday. Have a great one, guys. Cheers. Bye.